Now I want to make a little variation using the poly stop, so we can actually do what's might be called a polyroll, which means that we will rotate, and we need a side length. And we also need an angle 1 and an angle 2. So this is the angle 1 and the angle 2. And let's make it neat. It's always nice to come back to later on to be able to see what's going on. So, right. It's actually, once we have these building blocks, it's actually one of the easier one. Well, we repeat. We need an engine. And again, I don't want to repeat too many times, so I'm just guessing. I'm saying 24 again. And then I'm using the poly stop that will internally stop. So I think actually I will rename this one P angle, because this is the angle of the polygon. And this one is the angle of the bigger shape, so we might just call this one angle. Well, you can always meddle around with this, but so the side, of course, is the side, and the angle in this case is the P angle. And then I go right, so I turn angle degrees. So let's see what happens. So we have a side length as usual, 100, and let's say 60 and 60. See what happens. And let's see, I have an error, so I can show you what's going on. You can see my block turns red. Is really nice. And what I can do sometimes is I can put on this stepping mechanism so I can get some help. So I'll just stop it. And let's start again. So you can see there is something called segments that is not present anymore. And let's just look what happens in there. Oh yeah, that is my own extra little check from the last video. So I'll just remove this one to make sure that everything should be fine and dandy. And now you can see that so the side length is 100, and my internal angle, in this case the polygon angle, is 45, which yields, as you can see, an octagonal shape. And then the angle, this one is the outer angle, and I think I might call it that and rename it outer, because this is the big shape. So if I said 120 here, we would only get 3 repetitions, and then you can see that we can actually start building more complex shapes in that fashion. And I need to lift it, let's say 0. So yeah, there we go. So this is actually a very, you can sort of see what's going on. But again, we are using the poly stops to make sure that we don't get too many repetitions in this one. And then we are saying, so in essence, if I said 90 here, we would have a 4 and so forth, on and so forth. So if I said 36, we might have 10. And you can see we can actually get some quite nice where we get some really more complex shapes. What happens if I take hexagonal shape and then repeat that 8 times? So as you can see, these are quite nice and slightly more complex, but we can control how they look, and I might actually choose to hide the sprite. Yep. So this is the Polyroll, and yeah.